Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel. And I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now we're going to talk about what is light. What is light and what does it do? You know what I'm saying? Because people think light is something that's being gave off. When in so many realms of realities it is, but in so many realms of realities it's not. There's a heavy influence in this realm of reality that deals with the drain. Something's being drained. Like when you got water in the sink and drain that water, look at that mechanism. Now, I need you to understand this. When we want to talk about light, is gave from a language, and whoever put the meaning and reasoning behind it, they're trying to absorb the energy for what they're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? Just like when we talk about the 13th sign and shit, 1 + 3 = 4. So we know 4, that's a fourth dimension. So we know this is a fourth dimensional being trying to create a reality, that of itself, of its own, and they want to be their own intellectual property of it. So so now it got beings and ideas and thoughts from Ophiuchus. You see what I'm saying? Now we got it's like and you helped it get manifested here on its travels here. You see what I'm saying? This ain't nothing but a powerful ass oversoul, fourth dimensional being trying to create a realm of reality that's external and more dense under the 12 system, which 12 is already added compound, but it goes back to 3. That was the far as God let the devil go or whatever, but that's a whole nother video. I ain't even mean to use God and devil, but look, we need to talk about light. Light is spirit. Light is when the spirit and soul come together and as one. That's what light is. Because spirit is the frequency. Spirit is a space, a room, an idea. Soul is a vibration. The experience, the time. So when both of those come together, the movement, the motion, the movement. So when stagnate and motion comes together, it creates a light. It almost creates a station. It almost appears stationary to whatever conscious level is lower than it. But it's not. It's just a higher conscious. Now when we want to now that's what light is derived from. And that came from a idea, thought, feeling, and emotion, an original idea, an original feeling. You see what I'm saying? So when things get multiplied, add numbers, more density, we can know, do the math or numbers and compound numbers, that how the distance that you are and from the higher dimension to the lower dimension. Now, when we want to talk about things like lights, now look at how you give off light, right? Look at how you give off light. Look, and we know when you talk about the sun, that's your actions, the way you act, how you see things. So this is your ability to be seen by yourself or others. Your actions, the way you act, and how you see things based upon your viewpoints, your consciousness awareness. This is your ability to be seen. So when you think about it, right? When you're doing a lot of these things, your actions, how you act, what motivates that? Something from the inside, really your moon, but it's inner. That's what motivates that. If you're not acting on nothing, how are we going to see how you act? What is your ability to be seen if you're not doing anything? So we know the sun is your conscious awareness. We know it's your ability to be seen, right? So off the bat, this gives you a thin line between the word light and what light actually is, like electricity. This is how your spirit look like a floating electricity ball. See what I'm saying? So it's almost like people are confused. It's like, all right, we're gonna get into it. Now look, the thin line between light and spirit / soul. You see what I'm saying? Now we starting to get into how we can decipher between the two. Now, when we want to talk about as far as when you go outside and then the word light and how you look at it, you know you're receiving that, right? So the realm of reality you're in, it's like you receive the light, and that's why you're able to see it the way you see it. And when you go into this realm of reality and you express what? Life insurance. Listen to this shit. This is what you call being attacked right now. They don't even got my number. Things like that don't even got your number. With the internet now, they can get your, if you got a house phone, they can get your number and obligate shit through terms and conditions. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to let that affect me right now. We're going to keep this going. You know what I'm saying? Now, as you talking about the motherfucking, when you receive light, you receive a consciousness awareness. You receive warmth. You receive heat. You receive light. You receive sound. So, when you step outside, this is what they correlating you to believe what light is. But when you go out and catch what they telling you what it is, whatever you're catching is something that you're receiving. So it's something that's being drained onto you. It's being drained into your holes. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're in something and this is being drained in your holes. So when you express your light, it's like it's not something, it's something that someone else have to receive. It's not something that you actually saying, look, this is my light, and you shining it. You see what I'm saying? And you can see what you shining. It's more like your actions and the way you act is being received by someone else. So that's your ability to be seen. So it's always a receiving thing going on, right? So this leads you to understand this. If the sun is your conscious awareness, how you see, how you act, based upon your sun sign, and based upon the energy of the sun, and even in astronomy, and even in science, this is how they look at the sun. Because I'm talking about, when I start talking about it as it being light, it's still correlating to the same thing, what I'm talking about. Then you have to come to the conclusion that if this is what the sun actually is. So at some point, you have to think. The sun has holes. The sun is a hole. Because we have the ability to see the actions and how the sun looks. But the sun itself is like, it's giving that light off because it's inner spirit. It's inner soul. Just like your body. If you ain't got no spirit, no soul, you a stagnated person. So we can't see your spirit. We can't see your soul. And then that lacks the ability to be seen. You may be a cave-like person who stays somewhere in the cave somewhere and nobody sees you. You see what I'm saying? And that could play out in so many realms of realities. So everybody has light in them, if you want to correlate it to like that. Because you receive it. So you receive, that lets you know you received your thoughts, your spirit. So you know your natural spirit is just being. And you, anytime you have thoughts and ideas, you're receiving ideas and spirit. So it's up to you to decipher your consciousness awareness with this. But you get absorbed because of the realm of reality in, because of the ocean you in. You see what I'm saying? So it's all like fluid-like. So, like I said, like a fish in the water, like a being under light in this ocean is getting drained. So the sun is doing the same thing amongst other suns. So if this vessel was created up under this sun wave, up under this sun heat wave, right? then that means how you consciously see things and everything you're consciously aware of must appear how the sun see things and what the sun is consciously aware of amongst other suns. So in the realm of reality you in, the feelings and vibrations and the thoughts and ideas that everything you see and how things going on is how this sun see it in a higher realm of reality. So when you look at society and see how it's structured and see how certain beings go about doing certain things, all they're doing is plan out an attribute of how the sun that they're under see things. And that's how this sun acts. You see what I'm saying? So if you have a lot of whatever negative, positive, however you see society, that's the illusion that this realm of reality is up under, because that's the illusion that this sun has created. So when people start to use their own being and start to add to this illusion, they create their own illusions. You see what I'm saying? That's why you have to know yourself. Have to know your own you have your own sun. You have your own consciousness awareness. So when you receive in this one, you have the right to decipher when it gets filtered through yours. So you can make things appear and see it the way you see it, and not be confused by the filters and illusions that's already out here. But you're only doing as much as the sun that you're under anyway, because that's how this sun consciously do things amongst other suns. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you kind of gotta get as a just. So it's almost like a whole. So when you become a fifth dimension or a sixth dimensional being, you gets born. Your spirit, your soul gets channeled through this sun and goes out through this. That is like a whole, because it becomes one with the overall soul spirit. That's why it's a solar system, that sun, right? And you get shot out to another solar system. That's why I said it has to be another eclipse on the other side. It has to be another eclipse on the other side of this sun, so you can get filtered through another solar system, another galaxy or something like that. And that's how you don't go through this light. And that's not going through the light. All light's going to look different, appear different. The way this light look is how it's orchestrated and created in this realm of reality based upon intellectual beings. Which light ain't even light. It's spirit and soul. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. This is why I say don't go to the light. Because when you don't go to the light, you're actually going to the real light. It's not light though. Saying? But there's going to be many lights, and they all appear different. Different realms of realities. You see what I'm saying? That's why I even made those videos about the sun god, white. When I said white black people, that's just for the controversy. That's why you see how many views it got. But for the most part, I'm just talking about lights and shade and color spectrums. You see what I'm saying? And depending on what planet is conjuncting the sun, that's what kind of energy this race of being is going to come in. What kind of light shade they're going to come in. So when it's doing it in this realm of reality and you being on Earth, boy, that's how the beings you appear come here. When other solar systems is close by, is doing conjunctions on the other side of the sun or the other side of the planets that you're in, that's not rotating in the rotation you're up under, then that's when you're able to elevate and shoot off through there. But you have to gain enough consciousness awareness with the light that you're receiving if you was able to do that, or you're going to stay up under this light and still stay up under this realm of reality and keep taking on these vessels. You see what I'm saying? In these dimensions. You see what I'm saying? So that lets you know that everything is round, but it's like a disc, and not no flat disc. Look, when you outside looking in, it looked like a disc. All the planets, all the lights, your soul, your spirit, your wills, they look like disc. But when you live in one, the disc is round, because the disc always rotating. So eventually the disc do a circle, and that energy is still there. That's what's creating like the time and shit in the fourth dimension. You know what I'm saying? Like, so look, say something spinning around like this. When something was right here, when something right here and it goes round, right? Say it's right here again. That energy of when it went round is still there. Now say it went round and all kind of roundnesses and created a ball for itself. That's an orb. That's an orb that took all shapes and forms and could see all sides. You see what I'm saying? But when you live within one, that you live within the orb of it. But when you take yourself outside of the box, outside of the orb, it's a disc. It look like a wheel depending on what side you looking at it from. This is why when you drawing it, you draw on a piece of paper, all scientists and stuff, everything look 2D, everything look flat. You know what I'm saying? This is why when you look at an apple or an orange, it look flat until when you unpeel it, and when you unpeel it, you start to see you don't have all shapes of it, all the roundness when you unpeel it. You see what I'm saying? Because everything is spiraling, right? Like a disc, but the energy of that disc went in all shapes and form of the disc. So if it started here, it's gonna, you see what I'm saying? It's gonna round itself in the same disc, because each roundness don't go make a complete circle. So it don't even take the complete direction again too. So it always round. If you get what I'm saying, that's why I need a chalkboard. Like this, for an example. You know I'm gonna keep a weapon somewhere. I'm married. But you see the roundness in that? You see that? The spiral? You see that? So that's what it is. But if you go within the spiral, it's round, right? It's round, right? But when you take yourself out of it, it look like some discus. Look like disc. There's 3 discs. But if you live in one, it's round. You see what I'm saying? That's how it is. So this is how you know it's a drain too. It started from a point of reference that got wider, then boop, and it's doing that on every side to the point. So this is what you're doing with all the planets. Everything is a drainage. But you think since something on top of you that is being drained down, it at some point, yeah, if it's because you being on Earth, you think it's on top of you, something being drained down. So by your awareness, yeah, it's being drained on it. But like I said, it's an as above, so below. It's a hell to heaven to everything. Earth is in rotation too. So there's a drainage that Earth is doing and receiving. So everything is draining and receiving. Everything is giving, receiving, giving, receiving. So you, by you being on Earth, you think you under, but you still over something too. So you in a realm moving along too. You see what I'm saying? So you're really not higher or lower than nothing. It's just your place in a circumstance. You see what I'm saying? Same way to Earth. So yeah, the sun from an Earth perspective may appear to get the drainage, but then it's planets underneath the Earth, like Pluto. Then they get that drainage. Then it's all a bunch of drainages going on, and a whole bunch of giving offs. So as a planet that's under Earth, that drainage to them beings on that planet, it appear as is a given. It appear as is given off. Same way you being on Earth, you look at the sun and part of Venus, it look like, oh, it's giving off. But to them, it's a drainage. Just like the sun, it's suns and planets that it's up under, and universes and galaxies that it's up under, and it's catching a drainage. You see what I'm saying? But to the sun, it's a giving off. You see what I'm saying? Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. Goddamn, I'm gonna finish my motherfucking blunt.